Good morning, everybody. Steve Draskowski, State Representative from Mazeppa. Today we are asking the Federal Internal Revenue Service and the Minnesota Department of Revenue to review the tax filings of U.S. Representative Ilhan Omar on several grounds. I am joined by 9 Minnesota State Representatives in making these requests, and I think there's 6 here today. These representatives include Glenn Gruenhagen of Glencoe, Eric Lucero of Dayton, Shane Mecklin of Clear Lake, Tim Miller of Prindsburg, Linda Runbeck of Circle Pines, Cal Barr of East Bethel, John Poston of Lakeshore, Dwayne Quam of Byron, and Jeremy Munson of Lake Crystal. We are making this request on 3 direct grounds. First, Representative Omar improperly and deliberately filed for a tax status for which she was not qualified, an illegal action in both federal and state law. The Minnesota Campaign Finance Board found on June 6th of this year that she illegally used campaign funds to pay a law firm to review her tax records. The Campaign Finance Board exposed crystal clear probable cause for a tax fraud or tax evasion investigation when they discovered that Representative Omar filed as married and filing jointly with Mr. Ahmad Hersey in 2014 and 2015. During those years, she was legally married to Mr. Ahmad Elmi. Did the illegal filing produce a lower tax liability for the couple? Did her illegal tax filing bring her tax exemption for which she was not legally qualified? Usually people choose the tax filing status that yields them the lowest tax liability. Also, the board shared that the couple filed jointly during 2 specific years. Ilhan Omar and Ahmad Hersey have been together as a couple for 17 years. Given her record of crimes and violations of so many laws, it may be worth evaluating her claims of status in those other years as well. Second, Representative Omar lived together simultaneously with her first and second husbands at the same addresses in Minnesota and North Dakota in 2009 through 2011. The tax enforcers may need to check if she used an illegal tax filing status and obtained tax deductions, including standard deduction levels for which she was not qualified in those years. Third, we know that Representative Omar took improper kickbacks from 3 Minnesota colleges in 2017 when she oversaw their state budgets in 2017. Under campaign pressure, she returned those kickbacks in 2018. It is worth checking to see if she reported the kickbacks as income in 2017 or deducted the paybacks as expenses in 2018. 5 grounds for an investigation include corruption in public office and tax evasions on grounds of illegal filing status, improper deductions, concealed income from kickbacks, and improper claims for expenses. We are also aware of Representative Omar's pattern of improper conduct. She has been fined by the Campaign Finance Board for diverting campaign funds for an unpermitted political trip to Orlando. She has been directed to pay back her expenses for uncovered political trips to Boston, New York, Philadelphia, Chicago, Florida, and Washington, D.C. She has been punished for conversion of campaign funds to pay for personal legal and accounting services. She has flouted laws regarding the filing of her personal financial data in a way that distorted the political campaign process. On June 25th, I asked my Congresswoman Angie Craig to launch an investigation into these improprieties. That went nowhere. She said, do it yourself. So on July 23rd, I asked the U.S. House Ethics Committee to investigate Representative Omar. That request is currently being reviewed by the Office of Congressional Ethics. On that same day, I launched OmarTruth.com in an effort to rally Minnesotans and Americans to help bring political pressure to bring about a congressional investigation. After 2 weeks, we have over 44,000 citizens expressing their strong desire to bring about a full investigation, and the list is growing. I will be adding today's request to the facts available on omartruth.com. Today, I and 9 other representatives are asking the nonpartisan federal and state tax enforcers to open investigations. We are simply asking them to do their jobs. Does anybody know? Questions, anyone?
Do state lawmakers have sway to influence the IRS or Minnesota Department of Revenue? Have you successfully asked for such things in the past? Is there a precedent?
I think certainly there's precedent, and I think it's incumbent upon us, Mary, lawmakers, the media, and others, when they see very clear, blatant violations of our laws, to find every way we can to appeal to the people who can investigate and prosecute those laws. And that's what we're doing here today.
How would a state lawmaker's request be different, though, than an average citizen? That's what I'm asking. Do you have any special sway or ability to request something?
You know, I don't think so. You know, I guess the fact that we each represent 40,000 people might be helpful, and it might be something that that those individuals take under consideration. But this gives us an ability, I think, to, in an organized, deliberative fashion, say, we have asked the Minnesota Department of Revenue to do their job. We have asked the IRS to do their job. Before we got here today, we don't know if they have been fully informed and appraised of these facts. After today, we can be sure that they have been fully informed and appraised of these facts.
So President Trump has an obvious place in this as the head of the federal executive branch. Would you like him to ask the IRS to do this? He could have more sway.
Well, he would have a lot more sway.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, I don't know that it's really our job to make that request to the president. I think he is aware of what is going on. I expect he is. You know, this effort today may make him more aware of some of those details, and it will be his decision as he looks at the facts and the circumstances in Washington to make that call.
Is that part of your goal today, to get more of his attention?
I think it's our goal to get his attention and every American's attention about what is going on here. It seems to me that that if this was a conservative Republican, that we would already have action going forward. And the fact that no one is above the law needs to be remembered here, and our agencies need to do their work.
If it was a conservative Republican, there's a lot of questions about President Trump's home taxes. Do you think he should be investigated for his own taxes?
Well, I think people have asked President Trump to bring his taxes forward for political reasons. I don't know that there's been anything expressed to show that there's probable cause for a crime.
Well, the New York Times investigation of his father's finances.
I just want to say here a couple things. One, the entities that were contacted to try and look into it have jurisdiction. You know, the House and the Department of Revenue and the IRS. So that's what's key. The other thing is, it's public. When the results came out from the Campaign Finance Board, it was public. Some of the media covered this. It's out there. There's actual findings by a governmental agency. That's a huge difference than speculation and trying to troll for stuff. It's pretty obvious. If gray area on a deduction on taxes, that's a big difference than on the front page. Obviously, up front, there's something there. So, maybe the questioning should be more towards why haven't they already followed up as soon as it became public?
Thank you. What Representative Quam said. By the way, no one has refuted the probable cause that the Minnesota Campaign Finance Board has exposed. No one's refuted that. None.
Could the IRS, the Department of Revenue, be looking into this? I don't know that it would be public that they are.
They could be, Mary. I don't know if they are. I don't know if they aren't. This way we're certain that the information is in front of them and that they're fully informed.
Should we know, as a public, who IRS and Department of Revenue is looking into? If they're looking into you, should we know that? What should we know from a public standpoint?
I haven't really thought about that. I think that's beyond the scope of what we're asking today, but It's a good question.
Well, I mean, it's a fair question. You were asking that they investigate, and the question is like, are they allowed, should they be allowed to say, yeah, we heard you, and yeah, we're going to investigate her?
Well, I would like to hear that, but I don't know if, I haven't thought about or examined whether that's a good public policy approach and what that means for data, et cetera. But President Miller's got a comment.
Thank you, Representative Tim Miller, Princeburg. I think that's a good question, but it also raises the question as to what the focus is here and what's been the focus of what Representative Drazkowski has been doing to this point. We're asking for investigations. We aren't declaring conclusions on those investigations. We're asking that the appropriate bodies, as Representative Quam said, investigate to their scope of what they're responsible for to see. There's a lot of things that are suspect here. I can tell you the reason why I'm here today is because the people of my district have continually said words to the effect of, when is someone going to do something about this congresswoman who appears to be acting above or outside the law and doesn't seem to care? So we're trying to hold that accountable here, but we're trying to hold her accountable by just asking the appropriate bodies to investigate. Let them find their conclusions. So to the IRS, do we need to know that they're investigating? I don't think we personally need to know. I think some insurance to the public that nobody is above the law, that elected people don't get to circumvent basic rules when we apply for our taxes. That's what people are asking for. And so I certainly hope that they do that. And I certainly hope that Congress, I understand that we have a Democrat majority Congress, and us in politics understand what that means. There's a level of protectionism there for her. But the people are demanding us to stop, to set aside bipartisan politics on many fronts. And this is an opportunity for that ethics committee to investigate. Let them find what they're going to find, but at least investigate. That's what their responsibility is.